Like they spray painted in front of my house. I remember that shit with the little KKK hood. Like, yo, and I'm not saying it's fine, but I'm saying
we as South Asians, as Desi people, what can we do to move that needle forward?
I think the first thing is awareness, which I think in terms of sharing, conversing, right? We live in an age where like this is all possible. We can move at a hyper speed because everything is connected everywhere instantly, right? So I think we need to utilize that. We have access to the whole world. So how can we use that for the benefit of the world, of our people? And I think panels like this, I think the long-term plays, the short-term is absolutely is dialogue and awareness. The communities need to feel support. I always think of it as if this was happening to the brown community, what would we want from our black, white, Asian brothers and sisters? Like, what would we want them to stand with us for? What would we want them, what kind of support would we want? And I try to think of it from that angle. So it's always personal, where it's like, how would I want, right? It's like, do to others how you would want to be treated. So it's like, I think what Ali was saying earlier, education is very important, right? One of the things, like, we need to share information. So when you have less, like when you look at villages in India, what's happening in India, right? The problem is we have overpopulation and lack of education. And when those come together, it's really difficult. When you have so many people and not enough ways to educate and get resources, which right now is the bloodline, I think it's about recognizing the disadvantages and using our privilege. Like the Indian guy in New York who opened his house to protesters, that's a small way to help, and as we grow to positions of power, remember what those gaps are, right? What those loopholes are that the racists, that the bigots can exploit in the system and close them. Right, because I feel like the goal with everybody on this panel is to get to a level where they can't deny who we are as brands, as artists, as individuals. That's everyone's goal in this. And when we get to that place, and we're going to be in rooms with people of influence and people of power, how we talk to them and how they think, you know what I mean? That's all going to start shaping and reverberating and trickling out. So I think along with our daily dialogue and awareness, it's carrying that energy for like, what do we want in the future, right? And kind of working backwards of how we get there. And one other small thing that I would say, just particularly for brown people, is like the N-word, which is I like just not using it. Just for the general, for other brown people watching, maybe people in India who say it that don't realize the history that goes with the word. Because a lot of times you listen to rap songs and it's dope. Sometimes you can't even remove it because it's just in the bar. It's ending every bar. You're like, yo, that hits, right? And there's not many words you can replace the N-word with. Let's be honest. So that's the privilege that the black community has with us. So that's something that I think we need to be mindful of, because that word perpetuates a lot of dark history. And I think by not saying it, it shows respect to the community and to the movement of understanding that we respect you, and we kind of know our place in the space as well. You know what I mean? Like, we're not overstepping our bounds, because we're still playing in a black culture. I think in the end of the day, we all want respect from Dr. Dre and from Jay-Z and from Drake and from Kanye and from Wayne and from black icons that created the space and made it what it is for us. So I think, and we wouldn't use that word normally in places, in positions. So I think that's a small thing that we can do as well. That'll reverberate change on a bigger scale.
That's true. Yeah. Ali Kulture, was mentioning in a previous conversation that we were called sand N-words. You know what I mean? Like, that never felt good. Like, that felt horrible to hear that word. Like
my whole life, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Me too, bro. I feel that.
I have been too, yo. They spray painted. They cut my Christmas lights. They cut my Christmas lights saying I can't believe in Jesus. I remember here when I put up, it was 7th grade. I put Christmas lights out, right? They cut my Christmas lights saying you don't believe in Jesus. Like, they spray painted in front of my house. I remember that shit with the little KKK hood. Like, yo, and I'm not saying it's fine, but I'm saying that we can shift that narrative. Just because we got called it doesn't really give us the right to say it. Definitely not. But we got called a whole bunch of stuff. I don't want to say those words, though. No, that's exactly. On you. That's your ignorant ass saying that to me. That's a reflection of who you are. That has nothing to do with me. You need to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make me that. That's you. Like, you keep those words. You know what I mean? I don't want that.